Hello everyone, it is me, Juliet, your Scorpion goddess, and I'm here to talk about the Taurus full moon lunar eclipse. So if you want to learn about what this means for us, stay tuned. So we have a full moon lunar eclipse happening in the sign of Taurus, and I'm actually burning some mugwort that one of my friends grows in her yard and actually gifted to me. So I'm smudging everyone here with this mugwort. Scorpio season has put a lot of stuff out there for us, and now we are in eclipse season. So eclipses are all about big, major, impactful, life-changing events happening. And typically eclipses last about 6 months to a year. However, this eclipse is going to impact the Taurus and Scorpio axis for the next 18 months. It's going to impact everyone because we're under this umbrella in the same universe, under the same planets, under the same energies. But if you are a Scorpio or Taurus, because they're each other's polarities, you're going to be affected for the next 18 months with major drastic changes coming into your life. And if you are a Scorpio sun, Scorpio rising, Taurus sun, Taurus rising, especially if you have 27 degrees in either of those zodiac signs, regardless if there is a planet in there or if it is an empty house, I highly recommend you look into that. The other two signs that will be impacted by this is going to be the Aquarius and Leo axis, just because these are all fixed signs. So let's get into this. We have the Taurus full moon happening in the lunar eclipse as well, in the sign of Taurus, on November 19th at 3:57 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, because Taurus is fixed earth energy, this is giving us something that we can create and make actually real for us to be able to like put our hands on. Like we're making something real happen. But Taurus is a fixed sign, so it likes to be in charge and in control, and when it's not, it can be very difficult for Taurus to handle that. So this is why this is going to be somewhat of an uncomfortable, kind of transit happening. But it's happening because it's written in the stars. It needs to happen. We need these shakeups. We need these shifts. We need these changes to happen. One thing I do want to point out is that it's happening on the 19th, and if you look into numerology, 1 and 9 are all about, 1s are about beginnings, and the 9s are about culmination and endings. And when you put these two together, because it's happening on the full moons are literally a culmination, a completion. So 6 months ago, during the Taurus new moon, what were you doing? What were you manifesting? What were you creating? And now, during the Taurus full moon and lunar eclipse, what things are going to be broken down to become rebuilt, because we're in a new transition. The Taurus full moon is always going to happen during Scorpio season because they're each other's polarities. So Scorpio season is all about death and rebirth and transformation. So this lunar eclipse is bringing that in with a more drastic touch on it. And I want you guys to think about or come to realization of what parts of your life need reconstruction, and be truthful with yourself. And you're going to need to come to this place of letting go and accepting and trusting the process, because Taurus is a fixed sign. It likes to be in control, but lunar eclipses, or eclipses in general, they just go. They let loose. They have no structure whatsoever. They're like, this needs to change. We need to throw this out the window. It's straight up chaos. It's literally like, because it's happening in the full moon, It's gonna feel like a full moon, but on steroids. And full moons are usually very heavily emotionally impacted and emotionally driven. Taurus is naturally ruled by the planet Venus, and Venus and Taurus are all about aesthetics, money, pleasure, abundance, bringing value to things, bringing beauty into life. And so with the transit being in the sign of Taurus, these are the things that are going to be shifted, shaken up, and changed. And when I talk about like shifts, shakeups, and change, or even when people hear that, they always go to something bad happening. But, you know, growth can't come from somewhere when you're being comfortable. And that's what this eclipse and full moon's really showing us. We need to really step out of our comfort zones. We need to get uncomfortable. We need to relax and let things kind of just flow and process the way that they naturally will, and trust that we're in alignment. We've done the work that we've needed to do, what's best for ourselves. Another thing that needs to be put into play is thinking about compassion, and think about if the roles were reversed and your friend was going through something, and how would you speak to them? We need to use that same voice, that same language with ourselves that we would give to our friends. We need to give ourselves that same compassion that we would give to somebody else. And that's what this Scorpio season and this lunar eclipse is really showing us. How can we be grounded and give ourselves more compassion to ourselves and trust that things are going to fall into place that they're supposed to? Because we can only keep doing the same thing and hoping and wishing and doing what we're supposed to, you know, to get to these goals for so long, and then in comes an eclipse and it really shakes things up and it gets the ball rolling even more. It just sets that foot in the door, but bigger, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not really good with metaphors, but that's, I think you guys get the picture, get the idea of what I'm trying to explain, of how impactful and how much we actually need this eclipse to happen for us. Now, Jupiter is still stationed in the sign of Aquarius, and it's going to be making some aspects with the moon in Taurus during this transit in the lunar eclipse. And Jupiter is like a magnifying glass, and it likes to expand and make things a lot bigger and more prominent. So this is why it's really important to focus and pay attention to where are your thoughts going, what kind of voice are you using toward yourself, how much compassion are you giving yourself, because Jupiter is going to make whatever that is much bigger. So if you put your thoughts and your feelings and how you talk to yourself and what you're trying to put out there for you to better yourself and for your friends and your family and, you know, whatever you're doing for yourself, make sure you're feeding positive affirmations and all of that during this time, because Jupiter's coming in and is going to make it much bigger. So we're dealing with Jupiter and the eclipse, major shakeups and shifts happening, Jupiter making it much bigger. Listen and pay attention to where your thoughts going. Don't be harsh and judge yourself if you're like, oh my God, I was talking to myself and I was saying, you idiot, now this is gonna happen, and you're stressing out because Juliet told me pay attention to what I'm saying and I messed up. Just observe your thoughts. Don't judge them for being good or bad or this or that. Observe them. Realize, oh, I'm observing, I'm realizing what I'm doing. Shift the narrative, shift the perspective, shift the tone. That's all you got to do. And when you come to that place, it's so easy to do. Just, okay, come up with a mantra, come up with a positive affirmation. Take advantage of this, because remember that we're dealing with fixed earth energy. And Taurus likes to make things real. It likes to put it into what can be tangible. So if you're saying, you know, I want more money coming in, and, you know, whatever it is, make it happen. That's what this is going to do for you. Taurus is focused on money, not other people's money. That's Scorpio. But Taurus is fixed on money, abundance, and bringing something that you can touch and bring it to value. Jupiter's going to come in and again expand that. So wherever direction that you're heading into, and like I said, pay attention to where do you have Taurus aligned in your chart, and where also do you have Scorpio in your chart. Regardless of whatever house it's in, if it's empty, whatever, focus on that and look at what does this house mean. Example, say you're a Taurus rising, like me. If you're a Taurus rising, that means that this is going to be in your first house. Now, the first house rules how do you present yourself to the world, how do you come off, you know, changes in your looks. You may change your attire, your outfits, how you present yourself, the way you speak and communicate, because Taurus also rules the throat chakra, focusing on this area, how you speak to people and other first house things. So that's where this would be affecting for the next 18 months. How do I present myself to the world? How do I show up? How does everyone perceive me? What kinds of changes in my aesthetics and all of that can be changed? Another really major transit that's going to be happening during this time is Pluto, which is Scorpio's ruler, is going to be trining with the moon. And this is actually really exciting because we're in Scorpio season. So when we have Pluto trining with the moon, this is giving us the chance to really dive into that shadow work, that underworld stuff, that internal, spiritual, deep dive within ourselves, and that connecting in a sensual, spiritual sense to ourselves, to people, and even to our ancestors, our guides, our angels, the divine. It gives us this like very deep-rooted chance to do that. And what's really important during this time is to, like I said, like lighten up, be loose. Being playful is going to be very important. So with Pluto doing this, and because I said, remember, shadow work, there's a lot of shadow work that always has to be done within our inner child. And so this trining aspect is actually, trining is positive. Trining is always like it's a good thing. So this is giving us that chance to be able to heal some stuff within ourselves. But again, remember, it's a good thing, but I'm just reminding you that we're not only just dealing with a full moon, we're dealing with an eclipse. So I do want to say, as a witch, to other people who do practice witchcraft, or maybe baby witches just getting into things, I highly recommend do not do any spell castings during this time, because eclipses throw in stuff from a left field. So when you're doing the shadow work, do it internally through whatever works for yourself, without actually casting spells and doing magic that way. That is the only advice I'm going to throw out there for this when it has to deal with witchcraft. However, the trining aspect is going to be very positive. So writing, because Taurus likes to, remember, get physical, put things into retrospect, even going into like nostalgia while this trining is happening with Pluto and the full moon. You may want to listen to playlists of your old favorite songs back from when you were a kid growing up, stuff that brings in good memories. This is a really good way to heal, because we're listening. Taurus, remember, it needs to put things into what's tangible, listening to stuff, writing things down, touching, all of that. Even making your favorite foods, this can be a really good way to help heal your inner child while doing this inner work. So these are some tips that I think would be really good to do on Friday when this eclipse happens. And one more great aspect I want to talk about is, I did mention earlier Venus, because Venus naturally rules Taurus, but it's going to also be making a great aspect with the moon. It's going to be trining as well, and Mars and Scorpio is going to be thrown in there too. But with the fact that Venus is in Capricorn, and it will be for a very long time, because Venus will eventually go into retrograde, anyways, the fact that Venus is in Capricorn, it's going to be trining with the moon in Taurus, it's great because this gives us even more value and pleasure into this chaotic lunar eclipse, how to heal your wounded self, and what relationships don't work out anymore, and what jobs don't work out, what areas in your life don't work out anymore. Venus comes in and gives that really like healing, loving, compassionate partnership, feeling like you're not alone, giving it that beauty kind of take on there with that Capricorn grounded energy, bringing that in and being pragmatic. So these are, I feel excited about this eclipse. Some people may be stressing out about it, but I personally feel very excited about it. I feel like eclipses, again, just because some shakeup and change is coming in, and you know, and this comes from somebody who's got a lot of fixed energy. I'm a Scorpio sun with a Taurus rising, so this has literally happened, first of all, on my axis, but I have a lot of fixed energy where I'm like, I need to be in control of this, but I'm excited about this axis coming, this lunar eclipse coming in, because positive changes, great things can come from this. And again, you cannot grow from being comfortable. Things need to be moved and shifted, and we as humans can only do so much, so the planet's got to come in and they got to make their play and make it happen for us. So I'm excited about this. Now I'm going to pull some cards from my Moonology deck for you guys and see what the cards also have to say. And if you would like to join my virtual moon circle healing package, don't forget that in the description box down below you can click to purchase that, where you'll get a reading and Reiki and a lot of healing coming in. So let's pull some cards from the Moonology deck. So I'm going to see for the collective, for everyone here watching, what is a message from Spirit with this Oracle deck that we can all hear and use for this partial lunar eclipse. So we got full moon in Aquarius. And it says, show the world the real you. Show the world the real you. So this is giving us a chance to step into our authenticity, because I feel like we've gotten into this place recently of feeling lost, feeling stuck, feeling like we gotta fall into the pattern of what society says we're supposed to do. And this eclipse is coming in and changing things for us and shaking us up within our core and saying, what have I been doing? Like, I need to be true to myself. I feel like I've been faking it till you make it. And what is the point of playing the game? Why am I doing this? Step in and show up to be who you really are. That's what this is saying. I feel like I should pull one more card, which I don't typically do, but Spirit's saying I need to pull another one. So, alright. So, we got third quarter moon. Adjustments are required. See? Adjustments are required. We need to really adjust ourselves, do this shadow work, allow, let go, and release, and just really be aligned or realign ourselves if that needs to happen. A great way to really do that, because again, we're working with Taurus energy. We need to be working with something we can feel, touch, turn into something tangible. Reiki healing is perfect because you can get healing within your spirit. You can even have it done one-on-one while someone is actually touching you, while they're transferring the energy into you, getting massages, stuff like that. But adjustments are required. So adjusting some things within the body, adjusting some things in the home, adjusting things anywhere in the area that you think needs to have happened. And again, that's what this eclipse is going to do for us. It's shaking up things and readjusting everything to push us in the direction for the next stage in our lives, the next phase, the next chapter, or for some, the next book. So, I, again, am Juliet, your Scorpion Goddess, and I'm glad you guys made it this far. If you did, please make sure you comment to boost the algorithm, to really get this video pushed out to other people. Comment a Taurus and a full moon emoji, or share your experience, or share your placements. Where do you have Taurus in your chart? And also, where do you have Scorpio? Because we're dealing with the Taurus-Scorpio axis. I'll catch you guys next time.